Dungeon Seeker is a manga with a revenge story, but it's different from anything else that I've read. Let's go over this manga and when I think this should be way more popular than this right now. Takeda Junpei is a high school boy who's getting bullied, and this is his high school crush, Noriko. Him, the bullies, and his childhood crush get transported to this other world. First, they kinda just survived while they were getting used to the new world, until the bullies and Noriko decided it would be great to throw Junpei into this dungeon. Dungeon has a 0% survival rate, and you can't even get out because space and time are also distorted in there. The basic premise of Dungeon Seeker is as follows. Kill the enemy in front of you, loot the bitch, get stronger, go to the next dungeon, keep repeating. If you want to read Dungeon Seeker, you should do so right now because I'm going over spoilers in this video. Junpei gets shit on by his bullies and Noriko, struggles with everything he's got to get stronger, gets revenge on all of them, and then the story just fucks off. It's short, extremely edgy, silly at times, but most important, straight to the point. And that is the reason why I'm talking about this particular manga. It stays this way throughout the whole thing, and its themes are really consistent, and whenever there's a side plot, it usually gets resolved pretty quickly. There's no harem, no demi-humans that wanna fuck the main character just because, and the story stays true to what it wants to do. I wanna mention two anime in particular that come to mind. Arifureta starts off with our main character getting bullied, and then he gets transported into a new world with his bully, where he gets betrayed by them, so he sets out for revenge. And oh my god, it's the same story. No wait, never mind. A little bit later, and he's surrounded by multiple females that want to mate with him that are only half human, and there's no revenge in it. The second anime I wanted to talk about is The Rising of the Shield Hero. Starts off with our main character transported into a new world, and he gets an initially weak ability compared to the others who also got transported with him. He's named the Shield Hero because he got a shield, but historically speaking, every shield hero was fucking ass with that shield. So now everyone is discriminating against him. The whole kingdom he's in fucking hates him now, and he sets out for revenge. A little while later, he cleared his name, and surely now he'll kill the king and princess who did him really dirty. Nah, never mind. He just humiliates them and then throws them out of the kingdom. And now the rest of the story is just him traveling around with his females. And they're only half human, by the way. Wow. My issue with these two stories is that they start off with a revenge plot, only to drop the revenge part of the revenge plot because revenge is bad and everyone should get along. No, come on. It's a revenge story. I'm here to see justice getting fucking served with lemon, sea salt, and black pepper. What even the fuck is happening? Why does everyone suddenly want to breed? I think that those stories want to do way too much, and the audience they're trying to appeal to are way too wide. I do have to acknowledge though, a revenge story doesn't have much longevity. I mean, what are you gonna do after the revenge, right? Dungeon Seeker, after all, is very short, with only 33 chapters, but I also think that's part of the beauty. Not every story has to last forever. But it sticks very close to exactly what it wants to tell in the story. The fact that it's also an isekai is just a plot device and a convenient way to add in magic. Sometimes I don't want an all-you-can-eat buffet, sometimes I just want a good burger without spaghetti and a milkshake and a salad. So, before we continue with Dungeon Seeker, I wanted to share a personal revenge story. Even though I didn't do much of the revenging personally, I still got my revenge. I was in high school, and I have to say myself, I was a pretty easy target to bully. Very poor social skills, chubby, glasses, and also Chinese roots. Here in the Netherlands, having Chinese roots means that you're an extreme minority, and sometimes people even see you as an exotic animal. I've heard that at least in California. There's entire neighborhoods and schools that are completely Asian. I can't even imagine that. Megan, if you see this, I think you live in an alien world. If you were bullied yourself, you'd know that sometimes other kids bully you for the slightest weakness that you have. Anyways, we were in philosophy class, and I sat in front of my two bullies in the back of the class, and all of a sudden, I feel a really sharp pain in my neck, and I thought I got cut by them. For some reason, when I tried to scream out in pain, they tried to shush me, and they asked me to come to the toilet with them to tend to the wound, put water on. And I said, sure, let's just go. All I want to do is finish this assignment so I don't have homework. Oh, it was a self-study class, by the way, so the teacher didn't really pay much attention to us. So it fucking hurt like hell when I got home, and I took a couple of pictures of my neck. I eventually told my tutor or counselor, I don't know what it's called in other countries. We just get this teacher that we call our mentor, and they're there to guide us throughout school year. So I tell my mentor that my neck's fucking hurting and that the two bullies hurt me. Mind you, I could still do everything and it kind of hurt, but I didn't think at the time that it was such a big deal. I was just angry that I kept bullying, and I finally had evidence. What happened afterwards was so crazy that my tiny middle school brain could not comprehend what was happening. My mentor was suddenly screaming at them in front of the whole class with a big announcement, saying shit like, how dare these two boys attack this other boy? He was super angry, and the police got involved, and I had to file a police report with my dad. So what happened happened to the back of my neck? They heated up a pair of scissors with the lighter, then with the really hot scissors, put it against the back of my neck, and then burned it so badly that my neck turned black. I still have the scar to this day. The police judged it to be mutilation, and oh boy was it a wild ride afterwards. The police came to school and arrested the two boys right there, and I heard afterwards that one of them had to transfer classes and do some kind of 6-month reform program. The other one got transferred to another school entirely, and I never heard from those two again. Never saw them again. And there was no bully for that school year. It was pure bliss. I was just vibing. I just existed and no one was messing with me. And that was probably my biggest revenge story, where I didn't do anything in particular besides snitches get stitches. If you have a bullying story yourself, let me know in the comments. So back to Dungeon Seeker. The world building in Dungeon Seeker is amazing. It doesn't over-explain, nor do I feel like they're leaving out anything important. It delivers just the right amount of information to keep you engaged. One example of this is that we get a short explanation for why the dungeon's space-time is weird. It's because it's technically not part of this world. It exists outside of normal space-time with multiple points in both space and time leading into it. So in this story, this means that Junpei sees things that just don't make sense for the era that he was transported in. He gets a revolver, and that shouldn't exist. And when he gets revenge on one of the bullies, it's been 5 years for him. But Junpei only spent 1 month inside the dungeon. More examples of these time shenanigans happen throughout the story, but you'll just have to read it if you want to know more. We as the reader get a glimpse of not just the fantasy world, but also get insights on how the realm of the gods work, and even on how our modern world is connected to everything else. I just find it amazing to see that this story expanded way beyond what a normal isekai would, even though it's so short. I do have a few issues with the story. The power-ups Junpei gets are very convenient for him, although it is implied that the story just skips over floors and monsters that don't give him anything beneficial. This story though is very fast. Every monster that Junpei kills either gives him at least 200 levels, or he gets an incredibly broken weapon or a broken skill. For example, level 200 is about the level of the strongest warrior of the fantasy world, and he gets it after one monster. Bruh. I mean, sure though, the fight to get to level 200 was cool and all. Bruh, it was one monster. He had nothing. I do very much think that this is the ultimate usage of the rule of cool, where logic does not apply to something because it would just feel cooler. You can find it in all kinds of media. Imagine that the main character is in a fight and all hope is lost until he remembers that he has to fight and win. And then the main character gets up, beats the shit out of the bad guys, even though he literally just lost and is still exhausted. That's the rule of cool. My main problem with Dungeon Seeker is not even in the story. Remember what I said about Arifureta, the other anime? Yeah, so the creator of that series sued the creator of Dungeon Seeker because the plot was too similar. So the ending for the manga got cut short, and the ending that we got at chapters 33 now just feels very rushed. But at least for Junpei, everything feels done. And even though there are still a lot of unanswered questions, it does feel kind of satisfying. Apparently there's also a lot more material in the web novels, but I'm not really sure. You'll have to do research if you want to know more. Dungeon Seeker feels like a short bang similar to Fireworks, and that's what I think makes it good. Go read it. I could read the whole thing in 3 to 4 hours. So I think it's not that big of a time sink. If you want something edgy without the cute shit, just pure revenge and murder, this thing is perfect. Sometimes I don't need a cute mascot following me around. Philo.